Ms. Meng, you keep saying that you want to produce evidence to prove that you didn't plagiarize. Where is the evidence? As your former reader, I really don't want to believe that you would do such a thing. So are your previous works really from your own hands? Faced with the countless microphones reaching out to me, I was stunned at first, and then my heart began to beat violently. I was reborn, and reborn to the day when I held a press conference to prove my innocence. In my previous life, my boyfriend's White Moonlight plagiarized my novel based on my secret love story. On the day of the book test, it rushed to the gold list of the website, creating a best-selling myth of youth campus literature. After being reposted by a big via marketing account, countless netizens cried out that it was tear-jerking. I originally wanted to show my own creative manuscript as evidence, but unexpectedly, the file was cleared on the day of the press conference, leaving no trace. I experienced unprecedented cyber violence, and received wreaths, black and white photos and terrifying express deliveries from all over the world every day. I gritted my teeth and continued to write, but was eventually stabbed to death by radical black fans. At this moment, I hesitated for only a moment, and my good boyfriend Xue Chen, who I had been in love with for 3 years, couldn't help but fire passionately. Meng Weiwei, you said that Ruoro slandered you. Then you should show me the evidence. Don't just say it without evidence and throw dirty water on others. He stared at me angrily, but there was a flash of pride in his eyes. Yes, how could he not know what was in my folder? What he wanted was to ruin my reputation and let Qin Ruoro become a new generation of popular writers. I lowered my eyes, picked up the computer, and walked to the projection table, turn on the computer and project the screen. The next second, facing everyone's astonished eyes, I cancelled the author's pen name that I had used for 6 years. Xue Chan and Qin Ruoro stood up directly. I said in a cold voice, everyone, I was wrong today, and the evidence was destroyed by someone with ulterior motives. So it is difficult for me to defend myself. This pen name is invalid from today on. I will stop writing, and never set foot in anything in the online literary circle again. After I finished speaking, I took the computer and was about to leave, and Xue Chen rushed in front of me like flying to block me. What are you going to do? Didn't you say that you still have a lot of debts to pay back? You said you won't write anymore, so don't write. Don't you say every day that writing is your biggest dream? Qin Ruoro was also panicked. She walked over with tears in her eyes. Weiwei, you don't have to punish yourself like this. I am willing to give you a chance to start over. I sneered and watched the two perform. The next second, Qin Ruoro suddenly bit her lips and knelt down to me on the spot. Weiwei, I beg you not to quit the circle because of this little thing. Your readers will definitely not let me go. I can delete all the information and pretend that none of this happened. If you quit the circle, I will be guilty. I won't write anymore. The shutter sound of click, click was instantly aimed at her. My gold medal editor couldn't help but come over and pull her up. Ruoro, what are you talking about? Why kneel down to a plagiarist? She is asking for trouble. You just signed a great contract with the company. Don't forget that there is still work to be done later. I was too lazy to be attacked here, so I just left the scene. In order to avoid being surrounded by reporters, I deliberately took a detour and took a taxi back to the rental house from the back door. On the way back, my Weibo messages kept popping up. I clicked on it and found that 4 of the top 10 hot searches were about me. Hashtag Meng Weiwei plagiarized hashtag Meng Weiwei and Qin Ruoro hashtag Qin Ruoro was forced to kneel hashtag Qin Ruoro's ghostwriter hashtag. The crazy marketing account denied all the works I had ever created. They said that I plagiarized Qin Ruoro's ideas and threatened Qin Ruoro to be my ghostwriter. My Weibo was full of curses. Fuck, so disgusting. I actually followed a plagiarist. I watched the live broadcast conference. Meng Weiwei was scolded so much that she dared not say a word, and finally forced Qin Ruoro to kneel. You are self-aware and know to stop writing and quit the circle, otherwise I will kill you. Even your boyfriend stood up and pointed out yourself. Meng Weiwei, what did you do? I think she ran away because she had made enough money. I support Qin Ruoro to sue to the end and let her lose the lawsuit. My backstage comments are all dirty words. On the other hand, Qin Ruoro's Weibo followers have soared, and there are also a lot of heartwarming and encouraging comments below. I commented, then I hope you can continue to update the second half every day and don't let your readers down. I know that I don't have many drafts left. Qin Ruoro was too impatient and worried that I would publish before I finished my drafts, so she just took the initiative, but she couldn't complete the foreshadowing and Easter eggs I buried before. It's just a matter of time to expose her. I returned to the rental house. The 90 square meter house is not too big or small, and I decorated it warmly and comfortably. On the old wall are photos posted in the shape of a heart, photos of Xue Chen and I, but every photo was taken secretly by me and developed by someone else. He never took photos with me. He didn't want to post on WeChat moments, and he would disappear in advance on anniversary days. I paid the rent, water, and electricity for these years, and I basically paid for eating and shopping together. I immediately asked the landlord to cancel the lease under the pressure of paying the penalty, throw away the things that need to be thrown away and pack them up as quickly as possible. Just when I was busy, someone knocked on the door. I opened the door and found that it was Shuechan and Chinruoro. Wei, are you moving? Chinruoro held my hand insincerely as soon as she entered the door, and I pulled my hand out with a cold face. Shuechan looked at me coldly, and the disdain between his eyebrows was obvious. Moving. As far as I know, her father died of illness a long time ago. All the money she earned from writing so hard these years was used to pay off the medical expenses owed by her father. She must be very distressed with the monthly rent of 2,000 yuan for this house. If she wants to move, she can only move to that kind of shabby single dormitory. I looked at him expressionlessly. What do you want? Shuechan said with disgust. Apologize to Ruoro and publicly admit that you plagiarized? My eyebrows jumped. Is this what a human being says? I angrily questioned him. Shuechan, don't you know the truth? You have been eating and drinking from me for these years. How can you say such things now? Shuechan's face did not relax at all. He said righteously, just because you are an unemployed vagrant without a father or a mother, and Ruoro has been a princess who is adored by everyone since she went to school, I will help her get whatever she wants. You don't know yet. Ruoro's parents are middle school teachers. She is 1,000 times better than you in every way. My boyfriend, who I have been in love with since college, now attacks me with the most vicious words. He only knows that I come from a single-parent family and moved out with my mother because of different ideas, but he doesn't know that my mother is the general manager of a multinational group in the Asia-Pacific region. My father left us a 9-digit inheritance after his death. It can be said that if I hadn't chosen to stay here to avoid inheriting the family business, I would be someone Shuechan would never reach in his life. Seeing that I didn't say anything, Shuechan thought his attack worked. And continued with a sneer, some people are born princesses, while others are just maids who are not allowed to see the light of day no matter how hard they try. If I were you, I would leave now and leave everything here to Ruoro. Why are you still standing there? Go to Weibo and apologize to Ruoro immediately. Otherwise don't blame me for being rude. But the next second, I raised my hand and slapped Shuechan hard. I slapped him too hard, and Shuechan's face turned away. He opened his eyes wide, and his eyeballs were immediately covered with red bloodshot. Meng Weiwei, how dare you hit someone? Chinruoro screamed and immediately took 2 steps back to take out her phone to take a picture, but I slapped her phone away first, and swung the suitcase to smash the 2 people to the side. I vented my resentment crazily, smashing whatever was at hand. Anyway, I didn't plan to take anything. If you like my things so much, I'll give them all to you. The surroundings were in a mess, and everywhere I could see were items that I had smashed to pieces. I opened the door and strode out of the place where I had lived for 3 years. I called my mother. We hadn't been in touch for several years, but when I called, she answered immediately. At that moment, my tears flowed uncontrollably. In my previous life, I hadn't been able to say a word to my mother since I graduated from college and left in anger until I was killed. I dare not imagine how sad she would be to hear the news of my death. This time, I just want to be my mother's useless snack. Just go home, just go home. My mother's voice kept trembling, and in the end she would only repeat these 4 words. Soon, I boarded the plane back to Shanghai. Before boarding the plane, I took a look at Weibo and found that Chinruoro had posted another hypocritical post. Sorry everyone, I will stop writing for a while. What happened recently made me feel a little overwhelmed, and Meng Weiwei is also a senior I have always admired. I want to take a leave of absence for a while to adjust myself. Anne Li Fei, the editor who once cared for me very much, also quickly forwarded this Weibo. Book fans, please give Ruoro some time to produce better works. We will hold a fan meeting in Shanghai next month, and everyone is welcome to attend. It is clear that Chinruoro is going to be built into a popular author. I sighed, turned off my phone, and fell asleep. When I got off the plane, my mother had already brought the driver and bodyguard to pick me up in a Rolls-Royce. She said she had heard about my story and was going to ask friends to help with public relations and contact a lawyer to sue. We will investigate this matter to the end, and we will never let my baby daughter suffer any grievances. I lay in my mother's arms. Her hands kept stroking my back, and her chin gently rested on my forehead. There were all kinds of exquisite meals in the car, as well as my favorite drinks in the past. My mother was afraid that I was hungry, so she started preparing the moment she received my call. I hugged my mother tightly. Don't worry, Mom, it's not worth the trouble. I smiled and said, soon, the real plagiarists will suffer the consequences. It feels so good to live in our big villa. No need to get up early to buy groceries and prepare 3 meals a day, and no need to wash clothes by myself. There are countless zero balances in the card that I can't spend, and I don't have to worry about the monthly rent and expenses. My mother has specially prepared a study room for me. There are several walls of books and the highest configuration computer in it, supporting me to do whatever I want. I get up early every day to bask in the sun in front of the floor-to-ceiling window, do yoga and beauty, and have a full banquet at noon. In the afternoon, go shopping and have afternoon tea. Learn equestrian yoga and golf in the evening, have a glass of red wine, take a bath in the spacious bathtub, and be coaxed to sleep by the tuners specially hired by my mother. My physical fitness and mental state have been greatly improved, several levels higher than before. However, at the same time, with Chin Ruoro's long-term interruption, dissatisfied voices gradually appeared on the internet. Some people began to question, will Chin Ruoro really write? Could it be that what Meng Weiwei said was true? There is no reason to stop writing for so long when the popularity is so high. You have no professional ethics at all. Are you kidding us? Hurry up and return the money. Chin Ruoro was also anxious, and she went online on Weibo more and more frequently. I know her very well. She has a beautiful appearance since she was a child. She is used to relying on men and has no real talent or knowledge. It is harder to ask her to write a few words than to kill her. Moreover, my book is completely based on my own reality, telling the story of my secret love for a senior schoolmate. Even if Shui Chen knows me better, he can only tell Chin Ruoro about individual events. So Chin Ruoro couldn't stand the pressure and wrote a chapter under Shui Chen's guidance, but the data that dropped sharply and the influx of criticism quickly made her delete it, so she sold her misery on Weibo again, claiming that she was sick and had surgery, and she was really powerless, but she also promised that she would hand in a work that would satisfy everyone at the offline meeting. That day, I was shopping at Hermes, thinking about what bag to match my new clothes. And editor Li Fei suddenly sent me a message saying that she wanted to meet me. Weiwei, I see that your IP address is in Shanghai. It happens that I am also here on a business trip. Let's have a good chat, some things. Maybe I misunderstood you. My heart trembled. I thought that I would be vindicated, but I didn't expect that Li Fei came to me this time to persuade me to continue to help Chin Ruoro complete the work. In the coffee shop, Li Fei looked at the new Chanel I was wearing and chuckled with a little disdain. Name a price. Weiwei, I know your family situation is difficult. How much do you want to continue writing? Now Chin Ruoro is the golden signboard of our website. She has created huge profits for us. The website must keep her. In the few minutes of silence, I felt like a century had passed. Your pen name has been cancelled now, and the readers you once had are no longer there. Besides, the website made great efforts to support you. Li Fei pushed the coffee cup away and leaned forward. 500,000. It's enough for you to change your current outfit into a real one, and it can also help you continue to do what you want to do. Looking at her meaningful eyes, my face turned completely black. What does Li Fei think of me? What does she think I am doing in Shanghai now? Okay. I squeezed out 2 words from my teeth. No problem. I have already made the outline. It only takes 3 days. I will fill in the remaining 100,000 words for you. Li Fei stood up excitedly. Okay, then it's a deal. I'll wait for you here in 3 days. I grabbed my bag and turned to leave. When I got back, I turned on the computer and wrote according to the outline I had drafted in my notebook. Maybe it was because of the rest I had some time ago. My inspiration and energy were very strong. 3 days later, I handed the manuscript to her with 2 dark circles under my eyes. Li Fei was overjoyed, but she still cautiously reviewed the manuscript in front of me. After confirming that there were no problems, she breathed a sigh of relief, transferred 500,000 yuan to me on the spot, and signed a confidentiality contract with me. But Li Fei didn't know, when these manuscripts are uploaded to the website, they will not be in the current typesetting format. At that time, the first word will appear in the middle of the lines with a sentence. Chin Ruoro is the plagiarist. Chin Ruoro, who got the manuscript, seemed to have rejuvenated overnight and could directly respond to the black fans. She posted the word count of the document and scolded, I will never hastily complete the work for traffic. What I want is a fine product and a clear conscience. This domineering declaration won her favor, and the square was full of praise. I flipped through her comment area, and a person named Hu Ruo Yisheng was particularly conspicuous. This user's Weibo is all Chin Ruoro. It records countless round-trip tickets for 3 years, and countless girls' preferences recorded carefully. From his historical avatar, I found out that he was Shui Chen. I only then realized that he confessed to me when he graduated from college just to piss off Chin Ruoro. Soon, Chin Ruoro's reader meeting arrived. She said in advance that she would upload the entire content of the remaining books on the spot so that readers could read them all at once. This was so attractive that the entire hall was packed on the day of the meeting. Passers-by who didn't know thought it was a popular star. Readers held up self-made peripheral signs, and their shouts were almost breaking through the sky. Ah! My Ruoro is so beautiful in person. The goddess is not only talented but also so beautiful. She doesn't want to let anyone live. I love reading your book so much. Can you sign it for me? I'm so excited. When will it be published? I want to buy 10 copies to keep as treasures. Don't push. Don't push. You're blocking me. Faced with readers' questions, Chin Ruoro followed the instructions Shuechen taught her, answered, "Of course the senior is excellent. He went abroad as soon as he graduated, he is the white moonlight in my youthful memories. I only dared to deliberately pass by their classroom on the way home from class. He would always stand in the corridor and chat with people. I look forward to the time when we run together during the break and eat in the cafeteria, because I can be closer to him openly at that time." I opened the yellow diamond to secretly browse the senior's space. I didn't dare to look up when I saw him. I pretended to be very indifferent. I'm afraid he doesn't know that I like him until now. Chin Ruoro's expression was shy and timid when she spoke, just like a little girl who had a crush on her favorite male god when she was in school. When she talked about some moments, she would droop her eyes, as if she was experiencing the pain of secret love again. Finally, it was the most exciting moment. The remaining manuscript of Chin Ruoro's book was projected on the big screen. This highly anticipated book finally came to an end. Readers also took out their mobile phones and clicked on Chin Ruoro's book to reward and send tickets. There was a sigh of admiration at the scene, and everyone agreed that this was a fairy product, and the latter part was even more tear-jerking than the former. Gradually, sobbing began to sound, until someone noticed something was wrong. Wait. What does the third page of chapter 98 mean? Why do I see the words at the beginning connected into one sentence? Chin Ruoro is the plagiarist. The whole audience was in an uproar. Someone immediately responded, "Fuck, it's true." I was wondering why there was suddenly a character named Chin. Could it be that the original author of this book is really someone else? Oh my god, what kind of supernatural event is this? Or is the original author hinting at the truth in an obscure way? Have we been deceived all along? The scene was noisy, and the staff quickly withdrew the new chapter from the shelves, but many people had already seen it. The book fans were indignant and clamored for Chin Ruoro to give an explanation, and she was also quick to react and screamed immediately. "Ridiculous, this is simply ridiculous, it's impossible, this is my original work, my manuscript has been tampered with, who tampered with my computer? It's obviously not the case." But a reader immediately retorted, "Who can tamper with your computer? Don't you carry it with you? It just happened to be tampered with today. If you have the ability, you can write a sequel on the spot to prove yourself. We will believe it if the style and plot are consistent." That's right. Hurry up and write it immediately. Don't you say you want to give back to readers every day? It won't be difficult for you to write a sequel, right? Facing the microphones that were rushing in, Chin Ruoro covered her chest and pretended to have a heart attack. She gasped twice, closed her eyes, and fell straight down. The whole place was in complete chaos. Many fans rushed to the stage and asked the staff to restore the deleted chapters. Shuechen also rushed out of the crowd and picked her up horizontally, shouting with bloodshot eyes to call a doctor. As he rushed out, he just passed me who was standing in the outermost circle. The scene was boiling at that time, and everyone rushed to the stage to see the words on the big screen clearly. Chin Ruoro herself was not in the reader's attention. "Meng Weiwei, you are still so shameless to show up. You must be the one who did everything today." Shui Chen's face was terribly gloomy, and he looked at me as if he was looking at the murderer of his father. "You are jealous of Ruoro because I like you, so I know that you have always disliked her, but your means today are too despicable. You just can't stand the person I like and want to destroy her deliberately. You bitch, wait for me. If Ruoro has any misfortune today, I will kill you." He roared at me, like a general who was angry for his beloved. Just when Shuechen was about to knock my shoulder away and run out, I also spoke lightly. "Shuechen, do you think I am with you just because I like you?" His footsteps stagnated. I turned around with my whole body tense. "You also know that the person I secretly love went abroad after graduating from college. The reason why I agreed to your confession was, first, to heal my wounds, and second, I smiled and pointed at the tip of his nose. You have a small mole here, like him. It's just a pity that the substitute can't be compared with the real person after all." After Chin Ruoro's farce, the website originally wanted to successfully build a personal IP through this event to earn a wave of traffic, but it was in vain, and was instead subjected to overwhelming abuse and doubts. Some people began to dig out the dispute between me and Chin Ruoro, and shouted at the official website, "Meng Weiwei has been writing books for many years and has been on the gold list. Such a person was accused of plagiarism." I was skeptical at the beginning. It was your official protection of Chin Ruoro that we chose to believe it. Chin Ruoro's speech at the fan meeting can be said to be illogical and levelless, except for answering the questions about the secret love. But who can guarantee that this is not a draft prepared in advance? I read the article she published and deleted a while ago, and she drooled like a primary school student. Is this her true level? This is the first time I have seen such a website. They don't distinguish between right and wrong just for traffic. Give me back. I will recharge again and I will be a dog. You guys really deserve to die. Forcing your old master away for a plagiarist, it is really a self-inflicted disaster. But some netizens are willing to let the bullet fly for a while. The only way to prove Chin Ruoro now is to let her write on the spot for everyone to see, otherwise she is a plagiarist. But Chin Ruoro has always wanted to earn enough traffic from this book to go the self-media route. She has never put in any effort from beginning to end. She posted one refined picture after another on Weibo, and she paid more attention to those who praised her beauty. Now the website has also reacted to what happened, but it can't escape the market value plummeting and is deeply hurt by the backlash of traffic. The boss was furious and fired Li Fei directly and took Chin Ruoro to hang out with people for help. I heard that Chin Ruoro was dressed up like a butterfly, and it is difficult to judge the reason. This website is just trying to make another desperate struggle. My mother knows all the circles in Shanghai, and she has long let all her friends ignore it. And today, unfortunately, the person the boss asked for help was my mother. When my mother showed me the invitation message sent by the other party, I almost laughed out loud. Baby, this game is enough. How about I reject him directly and contact a lawyer to sue him? I smiled and stopped my mother. It's okay, Mom. Tell him that Chin Ruoro will come to this drinking party. I haven't had a good talk with her for a long time. A few days later, Chin Ruoro appeared in the hotel lobby dressed up carefully, and Xueqin also followed as her assistant. At that time, I was feeding small fish at the rockery in the lobby, and I heard a sharp shout from a distance, Meng Weiwei. Xueqin took the lead and strode over, grabbing my arm. Why are you so persistent and following me here again? His grip hurt me, so I slapped him back without any hesitation. Take your dirty hands away. Is this place owned by your family, and only you can enter? Meng Weiwei. Do you know that this hotel is 8,888 per person? Are you worthy of standing here? Chin Ruoro simply tore off all her disguises and stared at me with great resentment. You are just destined to live in a rental house? Your boyfriend doesn't love you, and you don't deserve anything good in your life. She attacked me with all her might, thinking that saying these words would make me suffer, but I just said it lightly. Anyway, I am standing here as a guest today, and you, is it possible that someone invited you to dinner? You? Chin Ruoro was immediately defeated, her chest heaving with anger, trying to calm down and sneered. Guest, it seems that you came to Shanghai to be a mistress of a rich family. Such a noble place can let someone like you in. It's so funny. Do you know who I came to see today? Ms. Feng Zhao. If you are ignorant, just search on the internet. I am afraid that no matter how powerful your sponsor is, he is not as good as a finger of Ms. Feng. Xueqin also immediately joined Chin Ruoro in a common hatred of the enemy. That's right, Meng Weiwei. Don't be ignorant of the sky and the earth. When you are kicked out by others after playing enough, you will suffer. I looked at him expressionlessly. I remember every word Xueqin said now. I will make him come but never return today. The two people were dumbfounded and soon appeared. After a while, my mother came in with several assistants. Ms. Feng, I am Ruoro. I have heard of you for a long time. Chin Ruoro immediately went up to introduce herself flatteringly, but my mother didn't even look at her. She walked straight to me, took my hand and rubbed it in her palm, and asked very gently, "Are you cold? What are you doing standing at the door? Go in and order some food. Isn't this your favorite restaurant?" I saw from the corner of my eye that Chin Ruoro's expression froze. Ms. Feng, I deliberately imitated Chin Ruoro's tone. Then please go in first. I'll be there later. My mother understood what I meant. She nodded and arranged 2 bodyguards for me before going up the stairs. What's going on? Chin Ruoro immediately looked at Xueqin. Why does she look so close to Feng Zhao? Could Feng Zhao be her mother? Xueqin frowned and immediately denied. How is it possible? Does Meng Weiwei look so poor? Does she look like this kind of lady? I heard that some rich women have very perverted hobbies. Maybe Feng Zhao is old and has a very abnormal hobby dash. Before Xueqin finished speaking, I had already signaled the bodyguards to take him aside. What are you doing? Beating people in broad daylight? I'm calling the police. Help, someone come and save me. Xueqin was carried out like a chicken. He was soon scared out of his wits, and his voice was trembling. I'm here to see an important person. If you treat me like this, she won't let you go. However, these well-trained bodyguards turned a deaf ear to it. They hit him specifically inside his clothes, and hit him hard to punish this mouth that spread rumors and swears. Xueqin was soon beaten to the point of bleeding at the corner of his mouth. He lay on the ground dying, like a dead dog. Chin Ruoro looked at him and turned away in disgust. In her eyes, this boy was just an insignificant licking dog. She had never been distracted by Xueqin. Who do you think you are to be able to cling to a rich woman? Meng Weiwei, I didn't expect you to be like this, relying on your pretending to be weak and pitiful just now. Seeing my mother appear on the stairs and preparing to go down, Chin Ruoro was quick to grab my hand and slap herself hard. Then she ran to my mother crying and yelled, Ms. Feng, save me. This Meng Weiwei not only plagiarized my work, but now she is threatening me and attacking me. Please help me. The whole lobby was filled with Chin Ruoro's heartbreaking cries. Her hair was disheveled, her face was pale, and she acted extremely realistically, which could arouse a desire to protect anyone who saw it. However, before she could grab my mother's hand, it was ruthlessly blocked by the bodyguard. Chin Ruoro fell to the ground without time to stop. Phone, please make a decision for me. This Mang Weiwei is so hateful. She is not as pure as you look. In fact, she's secretly shut up. My mother spoke in a stern voice. I have never seen her look so terrible. She glared at Chin Ruoro, with a storm in her eyes. So you are Chin Ruoro? Chin Ruoro was so scared that her breathing stagnated, but she still wanted to try again and spoke weakly. It's me, ma'am. Please don't look at the online reviews. I was framed. My mother sneered. Do you know what the relationship between Mang Weiwei and me is? Chin Ruoro's expression froze. At the same time, the boss of the website appeared at the door of the hotel at some point. He was obviously in a hurry, sweating profusely, and his legs were shaking all the time. He staggered in, and his voice was worse than crying. I'm sorry, phone. I didn't know Weiwei was your daughter. We offended her. At the end of the day, the boss threatened to pay a huge penalty for breach of contract and ordered Chin Ruoro to kowtow to me and admit her mistake. Chin Ruoro was unwilling to give in, and the boss directly pressed her head to the ground. It turns out that everything was done by you, a little bitch. I was wondering how Weiwei, as a veteran god of our website, could be involved in such a thing. The boss rolled his eyes and clenched his teeth. You shameless thing. You plagiarized other people's creative achievements when you don't have the ability to write. And I trusted you so much. I was so stupid. We were all fooled by you. He became more and more angry as he spoke, and directly grabbed Chin Ruoro's hair and slapped her twice. Chin Ruoro's face immediately swelled up, and she couldn't hold it anymore and started crying. The boss immediately cursed. How dare you cry? You dare to do it but not take the responsibility. You have tarnished the reputation of our website. Who will dare to invest in us in the future? You are really a rat shit that spoils the whole pot of soup. If you don't have the diamond drill, don't take the porcelain job. You dare to frame others. How can there be an author like you? I sneered and watched them bite each other. I still remember what Li Fei did to me on behalf of the website. Now he wants to clear himself. That's impossible. You still have the face to show up here. Immediately send me an apology statement on Weibo. The boss obviously came here prepared. He had edited a paragraph in advance and forced Chin Ruoro to send it to Weibo. Let her admit the fact that she plagiarized and apologized to me publicly. This Weibo quickly became a hot search once it was sent out. When netizens faced the truth of their speculation, they were finally confirmed. They were indignant and regretful. We drove away a good author who wrote books with heart. The two entries #apologize to Mang Weiwei and #please ask Mang Weiwei to go home began to rise. The square was full of my former fans crying and recalling the scene when they first started to follow my books. Weiwei is really good. She insists on updating 3 times a day, rain or shine. I was only in elementary school at that time, and now I am about to graduate from high school. I read every one of her books. At that time, I didn't believe that she would plagiarize, and she would hire a ghostwriter. It's very sad. After she stopped writing, there was no substitute for her on the entire internet. My spiritual food is gone. Weiwei, come back soon. I have saved a lot of monthly tickets for you, and I will give them all to you. The boss handed the phone to my mother like offering a treasure. I thought my mother would give up and help him make a comeback. However, facing the boss's calculating eyes, my mother just said a sentence coldly. We have already prepared the evidence, your website, and this girl. Just wait for the lawsuit. Not only did Chin Ruoro lose her reputation, but the story of Shuai-chan and me was also sorted out by fans and then released. It turns out that Shuai-chan has been pursuing Chin Ruoro for many years and can do anything for his beloved goddess. He was also the one who planned this plagiarism incident. Fuck, this dog is worse than a scumbag, eating in the bowl and looking at the pot. I gritted my teeth and continued to create, but was eventually stabbed to death by radical black fans. Fuck. Is this still a human beast eating soft rice while hurting people? So cheap. This couple should be locked up and killed. I have never seen such disgusting people, sisters. I also saw the scumbag's Weibo account. He really has always been eating inside and outside. The online violence and human flesh that fell on me in the previous life are now returned to Chin Ruoro and Shuai-chan in an even more severe way, and because they have posted too many Weibo posts. Their specific addresses can be easily locked. Shuai-chan was originally sent to the hospital, but he was visited by indignant and enthusiastic citizens in various ways every day. He soon couldn't bear the burden and was forced to leave the hospital. He realized that licking his white moonlight would only get him nothing, and he wanted to contact me and reconcile with me several times, but how could the angry netizens give him a chance to breathe? He finally couldn't take care of himself, and after spending all his money to compensate, he fled back to his hometown in disgrace, with a body full of pain. As for Chin Ruoro, her situation was much worse. She had to deal with the lawsuit, the huge compensation demanded by the website, and the overwhelming online violence. She soon couldn't bear it and had mental problems. One late night, when she saw the red paint splashed on the door again, she completely collapsed and jumped from the building. At that time, I was preparing a new website with my mother when I learned about this. I want to give every young person who loves creation an equal opportunity. Here, everyone can give full play to their imagination and write the stories they want to write. Let 100 flowers bloom and speak freely. I think this is what literary creation should really look like.